Hello! In this short video, we'll show you how to update the firmware of GlucoNow watch, using the GlucoNow mobile app. Before you start using the GlucoNow watch, its firmware needs to be updated, to install the latest release of the firmware on your watch. Subsequently, as a new version of the firmware gets released, you will receive notifications on your mobile app. These updates improve the watch performances, and sometimes come with additional new features. It is very important to update the firmware of the watch, as and when they are available. Before doing the first-time firmware update, you should first download and install the GlucoNow app from Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Then, you should sign up as a user on the app and connect to the watch using Bluetooth. For additional information, please refer to the separate video instructions on user sign-up and how to connect the app with the watch. Please note that, without the first-time update of the firmware, you will not be able to use the watch. The firmware update will take about an hour or more, depending on the model of your smartphone. During this time, you will not be able to use either the watch or the smartphone. But don't worry, you can always choose a time convenient to you to start this update process. When a new firmware update is available, the GlucoNow app will display a notification showing its availability. You can start the update process immediately, or click on Do It Later button to start at a more suitable time. The top right watch icon on the app dashboard will change to show a blue down arrow, indicating that a new firmware update is available, but not updated yet. Press this watch icon, and it will show the firmware information under the watch setting page. This panel will show the version of the current firmware, along with the version and release date of the new firmware. Typically, the version number for the newer version will be higher than the current version. When you are ready to update, press the Update Now button. App will initiate the update process by preparing the firmware update package. It will take a few seconds. At this stage, the app will also check for the available memory on your phone, to ensure it has enough memory to continue the firmware update process. The update process starts with the 4 steps of instructions. The first step reminds you that you will not be able to use the watch or the phone during the update process, which will take about an hour depending on the model of your phone. The second step reminds you to keep the watch on the charger and the phone next to the watch within 3 feet distance. The firmware update process needs a special kind of pairing between the watch and the app, and hence it disconnects the current pairing. In step 3, it instructs you to accept the new pairing request, which allows the watch to pair with the app using a special connection that is used only during the update process. At this point, the watch face changes from a normal user interface to an interface that is specific for the firmware update process. The new pairing request can take a little time, up to 1 minute to show up, so please be patient and keep an eye for that. Since the update process starts immediately after you accept the new pairing request, you might not see the step 4 instruction. The step 4 instructs you to allow connecting with the watch in the regular way, after the update process is complete. Once update process starts, it will show the progress on the app, with an estimated time left for completion. During the update process, the GlucoNow watch will display the progress status. Most of the time in this process is spent in downloading the firmware package from the app to the watch. The watch will show how many bytes are downloaded from app so far. When the download is completed, the watch starts flashing the newly downloaded firmware on the watch memory. When the update gets completed, the watch goes back to the normal user interface, and the app goes back to the watch setting page. It will still show the old version and the Update Now button. Until the app gets a verification from the watch that the firmware update has completed successfully, it will not update this page. The app will request for pairing with the watch again, using the regular connection method, by displaying the connection passkey. Please accept the pairing request to complete the update. On successful pairing, the app will display that the watch firmware is updated successfully. It will take you to the app watch setting. At the setting you can see, the current firmware version is replaced by the new firmware version. If you now go to the watch setting, by right swiping from the watch home face, go down the setting menu and then press the About option, you should see the new firmware version displayed next to the text FW. If for whatever reason, the firmware update fails, the app will show an error message, and provide you the option to update, and you can follow the same procedure described here. This completes our video, describing the procedure to update GlucoNow watch firmware. Thank you.